So here's a quick story about me. If you want to watch it, you can watch, or else you can skip to the practical part. Benefits of reading. I used to read a lot in my childhood. I loved reading. I didn't actually buy books, but I read books which were already in the house, or my school textbook, which contained lots of stories in itself. Whenever the teacher used to pick me up by calling my name and tell me to read aloud for the class, I would read even chapters for the class in one go. No pause, just read. But during COVID, I lost my love for reading. Reading became boring to me. Reading became associated with school for me. And during COVID, we were not going to school, so I wasn't reading. I thought that reading is such a boring task. I wouldn't even mind reading, that it's not for me. Others can read, I want. But to be honest, it didn't even come to my mind so much. Just 1 to 3 times during whole period of COVID. My mind was engaged with playing games, video games, web series, movies. So how would reading come to my mind? It wouldn't, and it didn't. But now, after starting self-improvement, I started reading. First year in 2023, I wasn't consistent. I used to read for like 1 or 2 weeks, then I would randomly get a break from reading for 1 month or 2 months, and I wouldn't even think for that break. You can basically call it a rut for reading. But in 2024, it all changed for me. I started to love reading again, maybe even more than my childhood self. I love reading a lot now. I wish I can get 3 to 4 more hours extra just for reading. It would be amazing. You might have watched videos, podcasts, or those interviews kind of videos where a successful person is speaking with someone else and they publish on YouTube. You might have heard Elon Musk saying that you should read. You might have heard Bill Gates say that you should read, and many other successful people telling you to read. But you aren't reading. Why? Because you consider it boring, you consider it nerdy, or you consider that you don't have time. How silly is that? Those billionaires, millionaires, how can they get time for reading them? And actually you have more time than those people, right? You still play video games, you still watch some movies or TV shows after coming back home from school or job, don't you? You still watch shorts or binge watch YouTube videos like this video, and you don't have time. I'm telling you, reading is far more better than all of these things, even watching my video. If you want to read and you consider reading as boring, there's one quote for you. If you think reading is boring, you just haven't found the right book. I don't know, maybe I just butchered this quote and I don't remember the writer's name. So yeah, just get the value from the quote, okay? If you find reading boring, it might be that you haven't found the right book for you, right type of book. First of all, you should start reading those books which are in your interest. It can be fiction, it can be sci-fi and modern technology thingy. It can be anything. Just find your interest and read. And now you might say, what's my interest? What do you watch on YouTube? What type of movies do you watch? Just read the books from that genre. Now, I'm gonna tell you some benefits of reading. that why should you read? First of all, there's a quote I would like to tell you again, and it is, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It is by Jim Rohn. Basically, what I wanna say is that if you consume content that is useless for you, I mean, you are watching gaming videos and you aren't even playing that game, or you are watching some cooking video when you don't even cook, something useless things, or if you are watching random cringy videos, they aren't helping you. In the quote, it is 5 people, but here what I'm telling you is that what you spend your time with, what type of content do you consume, it will have an impact on you, on your mind. Many successful people have written books. If you read those, you will understand those successful persons' minds, and then the quote will be applied. And here it will, your knowledge is the average of the types of book you consume. It is something like that now. So reading books will make you successful too. Obviously, not just reading will make you successful, but it will guide you. That's why you should read. You gain knowledge from reading, and knowledge is very important. Any type of knowledge can be used anywhere. I'm not saying every, but yeah, you get the point, right? So read for knowledge. Knowledge is a primary goal for humans. We should acquire as much knowledge as possible. Reading improves your concentration. When you read a page, it improves your concentration, as you have to focus on the words, the lines, the passages written in that page, in that chapter. And as you read books, your concentration and focus will improve, slowly but surely. Reading also improves your attention span. Now, you might have heard of attention span. You probably have a very bad attention span. You watch through reels, and that is required in the modern world. Not in just the modern world, it was required even before, in medieval periods. You needed to give attention to one task, one person, one object for long, but you can't even give attention to something for 2 minutes now. So read for your attention span. Increase it, and it will be worth it. When you read from different authors, different people who are successful in life, or many other fiction stories, it gives you different ideas. It gives you various kind of ideas that can be applied to your work, that can be applied to your life. You can even combine 2 to 3, 4 ideas that you got from this book, and apply in your life. Reading also improves your vocabulary. Many times you might have read some articles or a page of a book, and you might have seen yourself that it contains very professional type of words. It contains the word that you usually don't hear in daily life. Reading improves your vocabulary. When you read those words, you start to understand what it means, or if you don't understand, many times it gives you curiosity to know what the meaning is, and you Google search it, translate it. There's one thing that is also a benefit of reading, and it is kind of my favorite. Reading improves your imagination. When you watch videos on YouTube, you already know that that person is sitting here, he's playing this game in computer, and that's the room behind him. But when you read, you have to create that scene yourself. Your mind creates it on your own, and which improves your imagination a lot. For example, one line contained that a man wearing a red suit walks in the subway. with a suitcase in his hand. Your brain will imagine that scene. So, reading improves your imagination, and that is wonderful. Reading also forces you to think. It improves your thinking ability, your critical thinking ability, your analytical thinking ability. When you are reading a non-fiction book, you have to think and see how can you apply that advice into your own life. We almost don't even think nowadays, critically, because everything is just so fast paced. We don't even need to think. We can just Google anything we want to know, which results to decrease in your thinking abilities. As you might already know that how important physical exercise is, right? So that goes same for brain. Brain needs exercise too, and reading gives it mental stimulation. It gives it stimulation, and which is like exercise for your brain. Your brain should be active. Consider reading as exercise for your brain from now on. While reading a fiction book, or not even a fiction book, it can be non-fiction too, you put yourself in the character's shoes. In modern world, you are so self-absorbed. You only see from your eyes, you only hear from your ears, you only feel from your heart. When you read, you put yourself in that character's shoes. You feel what he is feeling. You feel the sadness he is going through. You feel the pain he is suffering. You even feel the happiness he is getting, and that is very awesome to feel someone's happiness. So reading improves your empathy. It gives you different perspectives, and it makes it easier to put yourself in others' shoes in daily life. Reading also reduces your stress level. Whenever you are stressed from work, from your school, you can just give yourself a moment and read few pages. It decreases your stress level and it calms your mind. And the last benefit that I would like to tell you guys is reading is kinda cool and very peaceful. See, whenever you are sitting in library and you have been reading for hours, people have come and went by and you are still reading. People look at you and say, he has been reading for hours. It is kind of cool, isn't it? When you are reading alone in the library or reading alone in the room, reading while walking, it is kind of cool, because many people don't read in life now, but you are reading and you are kind of unique to them, and it makes you kind of cool. Reading is very peaceful too. You might have seen some stories, some pictures, some anime where a child is lying down on a grass field and he's just reading book like this. It is very peaceful, isn't it? You can read in park, your garden, while walking. It is very peaceful. It is so lovely. That's it for the benefits, and these are the reasons you should read. You can read articles, you can read magazines, you can read books, novels. Just read. It is a very impactful habit that you can apply into your daily life. If I were to give you a recommendation, it will be Siddhartha, written by Hermann Hesse. It is one of my favorite books, and you might wanna give it a try. If you are gonna start reading, you can start by this, and I'm telling you, it is a very awesome book. I would like to end my video with a quote, and the quote is, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one." George R.R. Martin.